So we all know that Nintendo's next generation system is going to come out anytime soon, either this year, next year, 2 years from now. We don't know, but it's coming very soon. And we're to the point where the Nintendo Switch has been out for over 6 years now. It's been announced since October 2016, and it came out on March 2017. We're in 2023. So I want to say that at the time of this video, we don't know anything about the next generation. We don't know anything because Nintendo hasn't said anything. They haven't confirmed or denied that there's going to be a new system. And us as fans, we like to speculate or we like to give off rumors about what the next generation is going to do with us. So just to make things easier, I'm going to call this the Switch 2 just because it's a lot easier to say. I don't think we're going to get that naming scheme. I hope they do keep the Nintendo Switch brand. I hope they call it like something else, the Nintendo Switch something, to go after that. I think that'll be very good. I mean, that's only if we're still getting the hybrid console. So as of right now, I don't know anything about the Nintendo Switch 2, but there is something I kind of do know. And I'm not saying that I know everything because I'm just speculating at this point. Everything that I say about my opinion is not true. It's just my thoughts. So I just wanted to say that ever since last year, 2022, I think it was February 2022, we got an announcement of Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass. I think that's what it's called. So when that was officially announced, that's when it just came to my head like, okay, the next Nintendo system is not going to come out until 2024. So the reason why I say this is because if you're going to promote a DLC that's going to last for 2 years and it's going to be on Nintendo Switch's biggest selling game of all time, being Mario Kart 8, if you're going to have a DLC that lasts for 2 years, obviously you don't want to have a new console come out during that time, because if you do that, then obviously no one's going to want to buy the DLC. And that's the reason why I really don't think a new system is coming out on 2023. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out, maybe earliest is going to be like the Nintendo Switch on March 2024. But I really think this is going to be a holiday release, just because it's not like the Wii U where it was a complete failure and they really wanted to get a new console out before anything else. So since the Nintendo Switch is sounding very, very well, it's about to break records, about to beat the DS in sales, it's about to beat the PS2. I hope it does. I don't know, because if we still have a year left, it's very highly unlikely that it's going to happen unless they give it one more year or they give it another model. But at this point, we're all pretty much waiting to move on from this, just because it's kind of like a lot of their games, even first party Nintendo Switch games, are kind of lacking in performance. You're kind of seeing lag everywhere, and I don't really think Nintendo, knowing their brand and they want to make the first party the best, smoothest gameplay ever, they want better performance. So I'm pretty sure Nintendo's not going to stick around with this hardware for very long. So I really think it's coming out 2024. So something else that I'm really speculating about this next console, being the Switch 2, quote, quote, is that it's going to have backwards compatibility with the Nintendo Switch games. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we're going to have some pretty much big games coming out for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out on the Switch, but I mean, they've been saying it for years. So at this point, they should pretty much take it out on the Switch, just because they promised to all the fans that it was going to come out on the Switch. Even though at any point they could just announce, hey, it's going to be on the next console. But it's going to be kind of like slap to the face to all the people who have a Switch, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them, ever since Metroid Prime 4 has been announced, they pretty much bought a Switch just so that they could play that game. And if they find out that they're not going to play that game on that hardware, then, it's going to upset a lot of fans. And going back to that topic, we have a lot of great games coming out. You're going to have, first of all, you're going to have Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is going to be a huge game. And usually 2D Super Mario Bros. Games sell for a lot of money. And I don't really think that Nintendo is going to release that game for 1 year and then the next year have another console come out and then say, hey, you guys can't play this game anymore because it's on old hardware. They could do a thing where they could update the game, make a deluxe version of it, but I don't really think that Nintendo's going to do it, especially after 1 year of it coming out. And then you have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon coming out for 2024. You have a new Peach game coming out for 2024. I really don't think the Nintendo Switch is going to. Not, I'm sorry. I really think the Nintendo Switch is going to have these games, especially since it has been announced for, I guess this year has been announced, coming out for next year, and pretty much it's saying already it's going to be for Nintendo Switch. So I don't really think that Nintendo is going to make these games for the next console only. So I don't really think Nintendo is going to want to sell these games for two different hardwares. I think it's a lot easier to sell it for the Switch and then just have it upgradable to the Switch 2. I don't think the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to make a big difference. Maybe it's going to make it load better and the graphics. So maybe there'll be a big difference. But what I'm trying to say is that if there's two different versions, I don't think there's going to be a drastic difference between them, which means that, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon this October because it's going to come out on the Switch 2 in a couple months when it comes out like December. And I don't think Nintendo's going to shoot themselves in the foot for doing that. And again, there's a lot of rumors out there that I don't really believe it's going to happen. There's a lot of cool rumors. There's a lot of unbelievable rumors. The one that I want to talk about is it's still going to be a Switch hybrid. I really think that it's highly likely that it's going to be that way. The thing that kind of makes me worry a little bit is just that Nintendo always likes to introduce a new feature, a gimmick, if you want to call it. They always change it up every single time, and it's good sometimes, but when it's good, maybe you should just keep it, because I say the Nintendo Switch being a hybrid is a very, very good idea. It's pretty much making a lot of players want to play the Switch version, even though it has less performance. They still want the portability for them to play it anywhere. Like, there's some soft games, like let's say Persona 5 or Stardew Valley. If there's any games that you don't have to do, like any action-based games that have to press a lot of buttons, I think Nintendo Switch is perfect for it. That's the reason why I want to buy games for the Nintendo Switch. It's because I can just play it on my bed. But lately, I have not been buying any Switch games. And that is simply because of the performance. I don't want to play a Switch game, let's say Klonoa. That's a game I want to play. But I'd rather just get on the PS5, because if I just get it on the Switch, then there's performance issues. And I don't want the game to lag, especially if I'm just used to playing at 60 frames per second or more than that. Going back to like a game that's going to 30 or struggling to even hit 60, like it hits a lot of people, especially if you're those people who play competitively. You're gonna see that there's gonna be a huge difference just playing at a lower frame rate. There's another feature I kind of want them to bring back. I highly do not think this is going to happen. But you know how you have the Nintendo Switch, you have the gamepad, where you could use it as a second screen while you play the main console on the TV? Well, I hope that the next Switch, the Switch 2, does that. Just because it'll be nice to have some Wii U backward compatible games. So let's say you're playing The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I know that came out on the GameCube, so you don't really need a second screen. But for those people who bought the remastered version on the Wii U, I think that's a very great idea to bring that game to a new console that has a second screen. Just because, like playing the remastered version, you have the map on the second screen, and like in many cases, I don't know, for me at least, I can't go back to playing the original game just because it's so much convenient just having the map on the second screen. There is a game, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. If you saw the preview of it or the trailer, you kind of do see the map on the corner there. So what will be really cool is that if you could have both, like let's say you're playing on the Switch 2, you have it in your hand, and you have the second screen on it. And then if you want to dock it, then that second screen, you could just make it into make it go on the corner somewhere. But you're not gonna have a screen, like let's say picture-in-picture view. No, it's just gonna, as soon as you dock it, it's going to change the map. Let's say it makes it transparent so you could use it all in one screen. I think that would be pretty cool. But again, I think it's not really likely just because it's gonna be a mess, especially with like maybe third-party games. It's third-party developers don't really have to utilize this thing. It's mostly for Nintendo first-party consoles. But again, usually when Nintendo introduces a new gimmick, they want to like go all crazy over it. I mean, except for the 3DS, because eventually the 3DS just didn't use 3D towards the end. But with the Wii U gamepad, they wanted to make every single game have a second screen. And if we do that with the new Switch console, then it's going to be kind of annoying because they kind of want you to play, how do you say it? You want the best experience to play the game is to play it in like non-dock mode, I guess, like have a second screen. That could be annoying, especially for those people who hate the second screen. And a lot of people do hate it. That's why it kind of went away, or people just didn't really use it towards the end. Well, the reason why I'm talking about this feature is not really because of the Wii U, even though I just spent some time talking about it. It's because of the DS and 3DS backwards compatibility. Having a second screen will surely give you like a better increased amount of possibility that there's going to be a DS game, 3DS game compatible. I don't even know how to say it. So pretty much there's a high chance there's going to be DS and 3DS backwards compatibility if you have a second screen for the Switch 2. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Imagine playing Super Mario 3D Land on the big screen while having the bottom screen just, it's pretty much just tap to get your item, so it doesn't really do much. But just the fact that you're able to play that game on a big screen, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, it would be nice to having a remastered version of that game, but the thing is, I don't really see that happening just because Super Mario 3D Land is a very short game. It has very short levels, so I don't know if Nintendo wants to commit their time just to make a game that it's kind of meant to be portable. Another thing is, well, I don't think we're going to get this, but if for some reason, if we get, we strike gold with this, we could get Pokemon backward compatibility games like Generation 4. I'm talking about Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pokemon Platinum, Diamond and Pearl, but no one really likes those games as much as Platinum. Or we could get Mario Party, we could get Metroid, we could get all these games that you need to use the second screen, especially if it's a touch screen, because I don't see any of those games coming out as a virtual console if Nintendo does not have a touchscreen support for it. Using the Nintendo Switch, like, I know how you could pretty much show the Joy-Cons, you pretty much put them this way. What if they make the Nintendo Switch where you could kind of attach the Joy-Cons vertically? Maybe that'll be an easier way for them to have DS backwards compatibility. This will actually be very, very like good for the Nintendo DS just because the screens are the same size top and bottom, or you can still do 3DS games, but I know there's accessories for it already where you can just attach the Switch and play it vertically. Like there's some arcade games that you could do that already. But just having it built into the Nintendo Switch hardware itself, I think that would be pretty cool, and it'll encourage a lot of people to go back to the DS days. We might even get brand new DS games on the Nintendo Switch. That'd be pretty cool. Another thing that I'm really hoping is that I hope the Joy-Cons are different. And what I mean different, I mean, okay, so you have the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con here. I know there's this IR blaster, I think that's what it's called. It detects how far you are from your hand, how the shape of the object. Pretty much it's expensive to make this. Let's just get rid of it because we don't really need that. I know there's the NFC for the Amiibo. I don't know if you need that. I mean, I say keep it just because there's still Amiibo coming out and Nintendo still likes to release it once in a while. So I say keep it. But I would say get rid of this. Save the cost for that to make a better joystick because the joystick definitely needs an upgrade. And I'm pretty sure Nintendo is going to upgrade the Joy-Con control stick just because it's horrible. They're getting lawsuits over it. I don't know if they're losing a lot of money, but they're pretty much repairing these things for free. If you could just send them to them and they'll just do it for free. I don't know if they still do that, but they could pretty much... they shot themselves in the foot again with the Joy-Con. Another thing I really hope they do is just change the shape of the Joy-Con. First of all, this thing's way too small. If you can make this bigger, maybe there's a possibility that we'll have a bigger screen size. I know the Nintendo Switch OLED has a great, amazing screen, but I don't know. For me, this size is still pretty small. There's a lot of games where like you have the HUD that it's very small and you just cannot see. Like let's say Fortnite, for example. I cannot play this game on the Nintendo Switch. It's just way too small for me, or any shooting games in general. You cannot play anything on this because it's just way too small. So if you have bigger Joy-Cons or controller, however they're going to name it, if you have bigger controller, then that means you're going to have a bigger screen, and hopefully you could see a lot better. I'm pretty sure the screen's going to be plastic. I mean, I think it's better because there's a lot of kids who like to drop it. I already know a couple kids who pretty much hit their screen because they're really mad. It doesn't really matter to me because day one, I just buy a glass screen protector on it, so it feels premium already. So I don't mind. Plus, it keeps the cost down and makes the Nintendo Switch a lot cheaper just having a plastic screen. Another thing I really want is please Nintendo to bring back the D-pad on the controller. Like, I'm talking about the Joy-Cons, because there's a lot of people who don't care about sharing the joy. I guess that's what they call it. That's pretty much when you get the Joy-Con, hold it sideways, and you play with someone else. That's pretty much why they got rid of the D-pad, and also to have it symmetrical for their logo, or just to make it look symmetrical in general. Because it does look pretty nice, I gotta say. But even with the Nintendo Switch Lite, they got rid of it and they went back to the D-pad because they know if you're not gonna share the joy with another person, or if you're just gonna use the Nintendo Switch Mini, you know, that means you're gonna play by yourself. You're not gonna dock it with a lot of people. So that means, hey, I brought back the D-pad, which is awesome. I love that. But I really hope there's another thing. I love the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's one of the best controllers ever. It feels good. The battery life's amazing. But I don't know if it's just me, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, but their D-pad is bad. Their D-pad is horrible. You press one button, let's say you're playing a 2D platformer, you're going to the right, you accidentally press down. And for some games, that's horrible because you don't want that to happen. If there's a game where let's say down makes you duck and you can't even jump right or something like that, like, it's bad. It's bad. I really want Nintendo to switch the D-pad. It's better to go back to like the SNES days where the D-pad was amazing. Like, every single time I play a 2D platformer now, I do not play with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's just really bad. I use the SNES controller because it's way better, and you know, it still has all the buttons except for the joystick. So hopefully Nintendo will do that. And please, Nintendo, make the SNES controller compatible with the Switch too, because they're very hard to find. It took me a long time to get one, and when I finally got it, it was amazing. I don't want that thing to last for like one more year and that's it. No, I want this thing to last. And another thing, I know Nintendo Switch Online is going to come back. I know it's going to transfer to the new system. It has not been confirmed. Again, it's just me speculating, but I know they have to do it. Just the fact that they're just releasing games they're not doing it every month anymore, but they're just releasing Nintendo 64. They have so many games for that console. I mean, the opposite. They have a little bit of games for that console, and they are releasing them. They haven't really fully released every single game that they announced so far. I mean, I'm still waiting for Mario Party 3. That still has not been released. Mario Party 2 has been released since December. Yeah, Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2 came out December. Mario Party 3 we don't have it. It's already going to be like, we're already halfway through the year. So there's a couple games that have not been out. So just imagine I finally get my hands on Mario Party 3. It comes out, and then like a couple months later you have the new Switch, and then you can't even play that game anymore because the Nintendo Switch Online does not transfer over all those games. So I really think it's highly likely that all those games, the virtual console, whatever you want to call it, those online games will be there for the next generation console. So I'm actually very satisfied for that. I really hope that there's some more games for it. I really hope that there's more consoles coming out for that. Everybody is really speculating that the Nintendo GameCube is going to come out for it, and I really think that that's going to be the next console coming out for the Nintendo Switch Online, especially if you're going to have new hardware for it, just because I'm pretty sure the Nintendo Switch definitely could handle it. I just don't know why they don't want to do that. But if the next generation Switch is going to be a lot more powerful, obviously it's going to handle Nintendo GameCube games a lot better. And if it could handle Nintendo GameCube games a lot better, then I'm pretty sure that the UI of the system is going to look a lot better too. I mean, I am sick and tired of just having one theme, or there's two themes, but I always have dark mode, so for me it's just one theme. I'm tired of it just being so basic. We need animations on that. We need some backgrounds. I mean, the Nintendo, everybody, you know, every single YouTuber says this. The Nintendo 3DS has a lot of different themes you can use, a lot of different backgrounds. And the thing is, it's Nintendo. They love to show off the first party IPs. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do this for the next one. Please make the eShop a lot better. I don't know, categorize the eShop, just because it's really bad out there. A good game comes out, and the thing is, a lot of people don't even know about that good game because it just gets lost in there, because a lot of games come out every single day for that eShop, and it's crappy games. Like, it's really bad. So I really hope Nintendo could like have like a feature list, like a better feature list where they actually show really good like hidden gems out there, just because it's really, really bad finding new games. And I'm pretty sure there's a great game out there that we all know. It's really hard to find, and we're probably never gonna know about it. So that's why I would say I highly recommend just watching these YouTubers for their opinions for hidden gems, because there's a lot of YouTubers who do that. So I would say look for that, because there's a lot of times where we're just bored. We want to get a small game because, you know, games are so expensive these days. So, you know, it'd be nice just to buy a cheap game that is actually really, really good. So yeah, I would say just make the eShop better. Put background music on it. The Nintendo Wii eShop, or the Wii Shop, was a lot better because the music was like one of the most iconic music ever made. There's even people who play it as a meme and don't even know anything about Nintendo. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. The Nintendo Switch 2. If I have to give it a name, I would call it the Nintendo Switch Revolution. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. I mean, it sounds cool. Or the Nintendo Switch NX. I'm really bad at naming things, especially like, you know, my channel name is just my name on it with 2 numbers at the end of it. So I'm like really bad at naming things. So yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. I really hope I gave you guys some ideas of what the Nintendo Switch 2 should be. If you have any other ideas, put them down in the comments below. I read every single one of them. I'm pretty sure down in the comments, there's going to be someone with a very great, amazing idea that not even Nintendo could think about. And honestly, like, it's good to know more like different features about the Nintendo Switch. There's already mock-ups of the Switch 2 coming out, which is pretty interesting. They look amazing, by the way. Some look really bad, some look really good. That I just wish that would be the next generation. But, you know, obviously Nintendo, for some reason, I don't know. We're gonna be like, I'm not expecting the next Switch to be like very good looking, just because the one that we have now is really, really good. Especially if you get the Switch and compare it to the Wii U gamepad, it's night and day how amazing the Switch looks. So yeah, so that's me rambling about the new Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.